Professor Kelly, in the last set of estimates, you quoted a study in which a real-world study of 3.8 million people where you claimed that the vaccine reduced sickness and hospitalisation, yet these people were not actually studied and autopsies weren't performed on the deaths, and the study was not randomised. And very worryingly or concerningly, the study's conclusion was that it actually reduced all-cause mortality. Now, I find that an incredible statement to make, given that the deaths in Australia rose from 162,000 in 2020 to 172,000 in 2021 to 190,000 in 2022. Do you still stand by the findings of that study?
Professor Paul Kelly, the Chief Medical Officer, thank you for your question, Senator. So that was the study that was performed by the National Centre for Immunisation Research and Surveillance, which has now been peer-reviewed and published. What I talked about last time was just a preprint. Mr Gould might come up to assist with some of the answers, but to your specific question, yes, I do still stand by that.
So
the remarks
you think the
I
COVID
made.
vaccine reduced all-cause mortality in regards to cancer and other things as well?
The all-cause mortality, and I'll pass to Mr Gould in a moment, but the all-cause mortality, I'm not sure if it was actually itemised by particular causes, but all-cause mortality was decreased. That is correct.
But all-cause mortality didn't increase. It actually increased by 10,000 just in 2021.
There's reasons for that, which I'll pass to
Okay.
Mr Gould for.
Forward to that. Sure.
So, Dr Philip Gould, I'm the First Assistant Secretary for the Health Economics and Research Division. The study that you're referring to did found no evidence of increased mortality, all-cause mortality associated with COVID vaccines. As you said, it did find a statistically insignificant negative relationship between vaccines and all-cause mortality. But that was, as I said, it was not statistically significant. In terms of potential medical reasons for that, Professor Kelly might want to go into that, but there may be a relationship with undiagnosed COVID being a potential contributor to all-cause mortality. So that's one of the reasons which is listed in the paper itself.
So what was the cause? So you're saying that was the cause of the jump of an increase of 10,000 from 162 to 172,000 in 2021?
That's then a separate issue. So I think it's important to point out that what the study showed was that people who had vaccines were relatively less likely to die of COVID than people who did not have vaccines, and that was the key finding of the paper. So that was a relative comparison between cohorts of people who had and hadn't been vaccinated. That in itself doesn't relate to overall mortality rates.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to, is what caused the increase in 2021 of 10,000 deaths, why there was an increase in 10,000 deaths, given that COVID wasn't in the community. I'm happy to table these documents, Chair, this particular document.
You can circulate it and the committee can then make a decision about whether to table it once we've verified its source. Yep. Can I just clarify, Mr Conley, are these questions best placed in whole of portfolio?
At the moment we seem to have the relevant people here, so it's possible they should be in outcome one, but really it's in your hands, Chair, whether you'd like to do it now since we have the people here.
Well, if the agency is comfortable, we can proceed, but Senator Rennick, I would remind you to try and place your questions in the correct place.
Yep.
Thank you. Is there a website or a source for this? There's no website. Do you have a document with where you got the information?
Well, it's the ABS statistics, all-cause mortality statistics.
Okay. Well, the committee will just need to take a moment to verify the information you've given us, Senator Rennick.
Sure. So if you look Google. I mean, the document. I mean, you can take the numbers 172 versus 162,000. Interestingly enough, the largest increase in deaths on a relative percentage basis were in in Queensland and Western Australia. It didn't have any COVID in the community throughout 2021. So yet again, And if you actually look at the ABS mortality figures, they jumped significantly in May. So that was about 1 month after the vaccine rollout stepped up. What was the cause of this significant increase in deaths in 2021, notwithstanding that COVID wasn't in the community throughout 2021 until late December?
So before handing to Professor Kelly on potential reasons, just noting that a temporal correlation doesn't imply any kind of causation, so we have to be careful.
Yeah, I accept that, but we had an actual increase here. We're not talking about a model, we're talking about real-world deaths, whereby real-world deaths increased by a significant amount.
Yeah,
and COVID wasn't in the community that year.
And we would acknowledge that the ABS statistics showing both 2021 and 2022 that there was higher than normal mortality. That's part of their report. The most recent publication from the ABS covers all of 2022 as well as some of 2023. But as
and I said 2022 is harder to analyse because COVID was in the community and that jumped by another 20,000, so we went to 190,000. I just want to focus on 2021, where we had a clear period there where there was no COVID in the community, but we had the vaccine rollout. And there's a very strong temporal correlation between the vaccine rollout and the increase in deaths. Do you accept that there's a strong correlation?
In terms of the numbers that you're quoting, I believe that's correct that there was an increase during that period, but again, I would reject that the temporal correlation actually is due to any medical.
And that's within your rights to do that. So, given that there was a significant increase in actual deaths, what has the Health Department done to analyse why those deaths jumped in 2021?
Yes.
Because that's, it was a 6% increase. I mean, that's a sigma 6 event.
The numbers we've been looking at the numbers across the whole pandemic, so it's important not just to focus on 2021. The ABS do a good job of listing causes of death and major contributors. They tend to be have remained the usual suspects in terms of heart disease, dementia, diabetes and cancer. But we did see in 2022 significant deaths as a result of COVID. And I think it is worth saying here that of the roughly 20,000 excess deaths that the ABS reported in 2022, roughly 13,000 of those were either people dying from COVID or deaths which are associated with COVID. So of that 20,000, 13,000.
Yeah, thank you.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.